Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazelucia Tarot. I am Stephanie, your tarot reader, and today we have a reading from the goddess Athena, strategies and wisdom to impart on your particular situation. This is a special video because it's in collaboration with Elle from Elle's Temple. She's known for doing a lot of goddess readings, and we decided to share a goddess for this particular collaboration. She's also doing an Athena reading, so I will link her video in the description. And we made it a little bit open, or at least on my part it's open, for it to combine with her messages should they resonate. So go give her a shout out. She's almost at 1,000 subscribers, at least as of the time that I am recording this. But let's move on to the reading. We have 3 piles here for you today. We have an agate moon with knowledge. We have this red jasper heart with strategy. And then we have clear quartz with wisdom. And these are all cards of Athena. So go ahead, take a few deep breaths. Invocate the goddess Athena in whichever way you pay your respects to her, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the agate moon, then we have a reading here for you about messages from Athena, strategies and wisdom that you may need for your current situation in life, your goals in life, whatever needs to come through from the goddess Athena, we are channeling today. So oddly enough, right before I was beginning to record this video, I had a lot of love songs just get stuck in my head. Among them were I'll Be Your Mirror by the Velvet Underground, and one in Spanish called Me Muero by La Quinta Estación. So very lovey-dovey songs, and which is odd because Athena is not, she's like the goddess furthest away from love and relationships that you could get to, because I was like, this is odd. I'm doing an Athena reading, not Aphrodite, not Hera. So I was wondering what was going on. And then I remembered that I used to read a book, or I still have it. I actually had to go dig it out. Look at you, pile 1, making me dig out my old books from college. It's called Goddesses in Every Woman, A New Psychology of Women by Jean Shinoda Bolin. It's a really good book on archetypes. It uses the Greek goddesses to give like female archetypes. There's also a male version, a man version of it, but I'm focusing on this book because she talks about the archetypes of goddesses and how they relate in every aspect of life. And when it came to love and relationships, Athena is known to be very strategic in that she just gets with the right people. She gets with the right partners, or partners that are going to help her in whatever achievements she wants. And I was looking at the relationships between men and women in general. An Athena person, when it comes to like female friendships, she tends to be very distant, or she tends to not have very many because Athena doesn't really embrace her feminine side too often. But when it comes to men, for those of you who are attracted to men, and the majority of my viewers are, she tends to go for men in power, or for men who are just as smart as she is. Like, she's attracted to that which can get her from point A to point B. And for those of you who have always kind of identified with Athena, but not her lack of emotion or her lack of romanticism, I feel like this is for you. Because some of you are trying to integrate that very... Because let's face it, Athena has a very masculine kind of energy. And some of you are trying to integrate that sort of energy within your love life is what I'm feeling. That doesn't have to be the case. Other things will come through in this reading, but I was getting that so strongly within this particular pile. Not sure why, but let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. Also, while I was prepping for your pile, I got my this is the super sparkly crystal deck, so I just had that delivered right before I started recording, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So something about divine timing is at play here. Perfect timing. So for my pile 1, we are calling in the goddess Athena. What messages want to come through? I'm being told to get 2 cards from here. Shungite, detoxify your life. Okay. Some of you have been going for the wrong people, or you've been going about surrounding yourself with the wrong kind of energy. And I feel like it's time to sit back and ask yourself, are these things really benefiting me, or are they just fulfilling a need? Like maybe even... because I'm seeing somebody getting like a bit of a high off of something, like maybe, I don't know, it's odd. And this has to do with people. It could have to do with habits as well. If you know you have a bad habit that you need to quit, it might be time for that. But for some of you, it's the people you surround yourself with. Let's get on another card. Shungite is a very lovely stone. It's I have it right here actually. It's really good at keeping negative energies away, but it's different from black tourmaline. I'm gonna keep her. Actually, they look very similar. The synchronicities in this pile, I'm telling you. Okay, let's get one more card. We have Alexandrite. Let your one-of-a-kind magic sparkle. Don't be afraid to be different, is what I'm hearing. Don't be afraid to let your mind show through, because there's going to be people who are really attracted to the way that you speak, to the way you think, to the way your inner workings work, essentially. And some of you may be keeping this you're either keeping it secret from certain people, or you're just putting on a different persona, and you're instead showing something that you feel that they will like, or that you think they're going to accept more than your truer inner self, is what I'm hearing. Because it makes sense. You want to attract the right kind of people. You're very strategic. You want to make sure that certain things go a certain way. But that's not always being very honest with yourself, or being honest with the kind of person that you are. So there's something about authenticity here as well that is going to attract the right kind of people, including a potential romantic partner for those of you who are seeking one. Let's go ahead and get more cards. For my pile one, lots of blue. We have Aquarius, emotion, inspiration, or indifference. A figure levitates above a mountaintop. When you feel inspired, it is as if you are lifted on air. Inspiration can carry you far, but being lifted above can also symbolize a type of detachment, indifference, or apathy. You may need a new jolt of inspiration to shift your emotions. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because Athena within a love relationship can come off as very apathetic, because she's kind of stifles her emotions, or emotions are not like a big thing for her. So maybe in the past or currently, you've been surrounded by people who, yes, have great strategies. You have a lot of fun with them. You have a lot of things in common. But when it comes to emotional things, there's a coldness there, essentially. Either you don't really bond emotionally with people, or it's hard for you to express your emotions, or maybe even the people that you have been going for are just emotionally unavailable, and that in turn has either made you also emotionally unavailable, or just made you neglect your emotions, if that makes any sense, because you want to be with certain kinds of people. And I think you need to understand that that is not fair to you, because you are very much worthy of having your emotions be considered, expressed, and understood by the people around you. Very interesting energy coming through. I was not expecting love and emotions to come through in an Athena reading, but I think it's kind of like she's trying to say that she doesn't care about them. But you can go about your emotions in a strategic way as well. Like you can... how are we trying to say this? To consider your emotions is also another way of preserving yourself. Because if you are not emotionally attuned to something, how can you carry forward? How can you carry a plan forward? Because to be out of alignment with your emotions is to be out of alignment in general, and you have to be completely in alignment to go for the things that you want. It's like, yes, you're going for a high salary, but if you're not happy in that job, how do you expect to maintain that job and therefore that salary? It'll leak out in ways that you're not expecting. For example, you may have a high salary, but then what happens is you end up getting a lot of let's say expenses that also don't align with your emotions, because you're not paying attention to them, that you end up having to like leak all that money into things that you don't really want, because they're not making you happy. Instead, you are doing something here for others around you. So how is that beneficial to your growth as a person, or even to your mental state? After some time, it will affect the mental state. It starts as an emotion and then affects the mental, or vice versa, depending on how you operate. Very interesting. Okay, let's get more cards for my pile one. And I hope these messages are making sense in some way. I feel like it's a little patchwork of several things. We have committed. Like I said, we are talking about relationships here. It could also be friendships for those of you who really value the people around you, like really value your social group, almost as if it was a relationship itself. Let's get one more. We have ABUSED. Okay, that makes sense. So you've had to nullify or stifle your emotions because of past relationships to anybody, friends, family, lovers. It's kind of like you've had to completely ignore your emotions for the sake of something. And this has become a habit or a pattern that You would think Athena is okay with this because, like I said, she is not the most emotional of the goddesses. But when it comes to the grand scheme of things, it makes sense to pay attention to your emotions. And I was getting this download earlier as well because I was thinking of the Myers-Briggs types, the 16 archetypes. And I typically identify as a T as opposed to an F, INT. J is usually what I identify as. You would think it's feeling because I have so much Pisces, because I'm intuitive, and because I'm a crybaby. I really am. But what I've always valued has been critical thinking, or the mind over emotions. And part of the reason is because that's how I grew up. That's just how I was. That's just how I was raised. That was the environment around me. The true me, the real me, would probably be more into emotional things, like caring more about others. And try as I might, that's never really been the case. Not to say that I don't care, it's just I would always value people who also don't really listen to their emotions or pay attention to them, and instead think about outside influences or anything else that gets them in their brain. Like, I've always valued intelligence, but never really emotional literacy, if that's a word. So that makes sense. And maybe you're under the same particular situation here. And like I said, it's just so interesting. Because as I've gotten, like, the more I learned about spirituality, the more I've understood that intuition and intelligence can be the same thing. But there are people out there who would consider intuition to also be emotions. So they kind of all come together in one little space within you. And that's how it kind of makes sense. Like, your emotions give you an indication of what your intuition is trying to tell you. And your thoughts are how you bring that intuition through into your head. So there's something here. It's kind of weird. It's like we're skirting around the issue, but we're trying to make a lot of things make sense here. So it doesn't surprise me when you come from a past of trauma. It can be hard sometimes to put pieces together, because for a long time you were expected to not pay attention to the things that were bringing you down, or maybe people kept you in energy that was meant to keep you very ignorant of the things that were going on around you. But with you trying to reclaim your own mind, your peace of mind, your emotions, your way of thinking, you learn exactly who you are, which is not always the same person that you currently are. Like, who you are versus the you that you present to everybody else is so different. And there's kind of a disconnect here, which might explain why sometimes the things around you or the people that you attract are not exactly even the kind of people that you like. They're the people that you've been conditioned to attract, conditioned to go for, conditioned to be like, okay, that's the kind of person you're supposed to have, when truly you want something else. So for example, maybe the community, your family, the friends around you tell you to go for some kind of person, somebody who's successful, dresses a certain way, looks a certain way, etc. But the truth is, you're more likely to fall for somebody much more different than that. Somebody who cares more about you emotionally, who will make you feel well, who maybe is also very spiritually attuned, just as you are, who meets you at a mind and heart level, not so much on the financial level. And I feel like some of you needed to hear this to break a cycle of some type of person or people that you've been attracting into your life. That I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them, or that even that they're bad people. It just may not be the kind of people that you truly vibe with. And what you've been wanting for a very long time is somebody who meets you at your soul. But because you didn't really value these things, either growing up or because it was conditioned by your society, environment, culture, whatever the situation is, you're having a hard time meeting people there. So Athena is coming through, quite ironically, to let you know that it's okay to feel your emotions, because in doing so, you're able to align better with the kind of life that you want. In doing so, in understanding how your emotions work and why you feel this way, you're better able to understand why sometimes the life around you doesn't necessarily seem to resonate with the kind of things that you want or the person that you are. And I'm channeling very heavily right now. Like, I'm aware I put cards down here and I'm forgetting what they are, but she really needs you to know this, because she seems to have this, she doesn't like the notion or the whole idea that she is unemotional, when the truth is she is. But it's been something that is not at the forefront because she was destined for other things. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't feel. And maybe some of you feel this way too, because I'm getting like, the example I'm being shown is that just because somebody doesn't want to have children doesn't mean that they're not capable of being a nurturing, wonderful person who is like a parent to other children. That's kind of the the analogy I'm being shown when it comes to her and emotions. It could also be the case how you adopt emotions here, pile one, especially if you strongly resonate with Athena. Very beautiful messages coming through. Let me get just a few more cards and then we'll move on to the tarot to see what she's got going on for you. So this is the archetype deck, which is always interesting to shuffle because these are the widest cards I have and I have such small hands. Okay, pile one, what do we have for you? The Poet. You know what the irony is? I was just reading the section on relationships in this book, and it said that Athena doesn't typically go for poets or artsy types or charmers, romantics, because she prefers people with power. She prefers those with strategy. She really values strength, power, all that. Like, she would be going for somebody who is, you know, a business owner, a CEO, somebody who makes a lot of money, somebody who is very successful. But then we have the Poet here, and I feel like some of you have to understand that whoever it is that you want to surround yourself with, you might want somebody who is just a little bit of a poet enough to win your heart over, just enough charm to really melt a certain iciness that you've been accustomed to, whether that's in people or whether that's within yourself. Very interesting. Very interesting energy. Maybe some of you are poets yourselves. But it should be noted she is also a goddess of arts and crafts. And arts and crafts is a form of creativity. It's like if words are to a poet, what like let's say yarn or fabric is to a crafter, because she is a goddess of what's the word, of fiber arts, with the myth of Arachne. So it's giving that, like, she does have some sort of emotional side to her, but it seems more practical to people because the fiber arts, people don't go to that and, you know, they're not necessarily inspired to feel certain things, but it definitely is a craft, but it's something more practical because we knit things that we wear to keep us warm, or we may knit things to make a statement, but they're not necessarily things like music or poetry that make you feel a certain way, if that makes any sense. So there's something similar here. What you may be looking for is somebody who kind of complements your opposite energy. Like if you're not very emotional, you may seek emotional people, or vice versa. If you are, you may seek those who are a little bit more intellectual. And I resonate with that because I have a lot of Pisces in my chart. I have the moon in Pisces, but my favorite people, the people who I've had the most who I've had the most successful relationships with, have always been people with a moon in an air sign or a moon in a fire sign, ironically enough. Let's get your last card, your animal card for my pile one. I was not expecting a lot of what is coming through in this reading. We have the oyster. I like this. I like this a lot, because you are the pearl within the oyster. You contain multitudes. And I feel like a lot of you, like I said, you have this outer shell that isn't necessarily true to you, but it's something that you've been conditioned to show to other people. That is what you have to be. And sometimes this is something that we need. Like if we are in the public eye, we're clearly going to have a very different exterior persona than we have like in person with people that we love and care about. This is very natural. That's not a bad thing. But I feel like for some of you, in order to find that pearl within somebody, you have to find the pearl within you as well. I feel like it wouldn't hurt to show a little bit more of your true self, either to certain people, maybe to the public if that is advised. But if you want to call in the right person, you have to show your true self to the people that you want to get to know intimately. It's kind of like deciphering between people that you know are going to be part of your outer persona and people that you know are going to be part of your inner persona. So there's people that you meet at work and this is how you are to them, and then there's people that you meet in your personal life with your friends, family, etc., and this is how you are with them. It feels like a double life, but it really isn't. Sometimes it's you protecting that which is true to yourself because you understand that not everybody deserves access to that person, or this is just how you set boundaries within your own life. Like, yes, we set boundaries with people, but sometimes you have to set boundaries within your own life. Like you keep work at work, you keep the home life in the home. And, you know, that's how it should be. Even with people that you know in both environments, they have to understand that you're going to be a certain way at work and that you're going to be a certain way at home. This is something I've also had to struggle with because when it comes to work, I am very serious. I'm very professional. I'm a very different person, very serious. But then when it comes to my friends, I'm completely different. Like the person my friends know wouldn't be allowed to work where I work, just because that's how I keep things separately. I'm a lot more crude and funny and ridiculous outside of work, but at work I'm very serious. So again, I hope this is resonating for you. A lot of interesting colors are coming through. We have black, blue, and orange. So with blue, we have, I'm hearing a bit of the third eye, but also throat chakra. And my throat chakra has been very open this entire reading, by the way. That's not always the case. We have orange, which is that creative energy. This is sacral energy. So again, it's also an emotional chakra. This is where we store a lot of our very base emotions, specifically those of not necessarily grief, but I'm feeling grief for some of you. I'm also feeling, of course, the emotion of desire and sensuality. And then there's also longing. Yeah, desire for something else. Like some of you might have a desire for something you're not even aware of and you kind of want to fill it, but then you're realizing again that sometimes is filled with something that you're typically not used to going for, or that you're not very readily surrounded by. And then we have black, which is of course a very grounding energy. I don't necessarily consider it part of the root. It's something deeper than the root. This is staying true to yourself, staying grounded in the person that you are, knowing that you're also very protected and that you're divinely guided. I feel like some of you have been in root energy for a long time. It's kind of survival energy. So it's kind of like you're trying to ascend, or you're trying to overcome something to truly be one with yourself. Because after all, the color you chose, I would consider it more closely to the crown chakra. It's like we're trying to reach the crown chakra, but we can't because we're not being our true selves here. So if this sounds like something you are currently going through, if this sounds like something that resonates with you, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot portion. My beautiful pile one. Yeah, I wasn't expecting emotions of all things to come through in these readings for you. So we are going to use the Mythos Tarot. And I'm going to keep it simple. We're just going to channel any other messages that need to come through. They may or may not have anything to do with what came through in the oracles. I'm leaving it very open. But let's see. Should we do inner, outer? Yeah, okay, I'm hearing that. Wisdom from Athena to see something about your external world, the body, your environment, outside influences. The Hangman. Don't be afraid to change your perspective. Don't be afraid to change your perspective, because some of you have even thought about having a big shift in the environment around you, but it's like you're holding on, you're holding back, because there's kind of like a fear of what might happen. And this is, this is fair. There's a hesitancy there that you don't really want things to change, but there's a possibility that if you do, things might just end up working out. This is like refusing to give in to something that you know is meant to further your growth here. Let's get some emotional or inner workings. This could be emotional or mental. I say emotional because that was coming through in the oracles, but it could also be mental. Your inner workings here. Pile one. Four of Cups. Yeah, you're holding on very tightly to some old emotions. It's like you keep ruminating within them. The river Styx is the river of the dead, and it's like, why are we swimming in a river of dead thoughts, ideas, and or emotions here? I want to clarify this one. The Tower, Poseidon. Ironically, I was talking about water, and Poseidon is the god of the ocean. And then the Tower card, I always wondered why they made him the Tower card in this deck. But it's kind of like, if you don't let it go, the universe is going to send something in out of your control to make you let go of this particular way of thinking. And it's not to be seen as like you're not being punished or anything here. I don't want you to take it that way. Do not take it negatively. It's just like something unexpected will happen to make you understand why you needed to let go of certain mindsets or certain ways of feeling. Because for some of you, you've been stuck in this way of feeling for a while, and it got to a point where it became unhealthy, so the universe came through with something unexpected for you. And whatever this unexpected thing is, or will be, for those of you who are not there yet, I need you to understand it's not always negative. I've never really seen the Tower, well, as of recently, I've learned not to see the Tower card as negative. It's just unexpected things, and unexpected things can be very positive. I need you to understand that unexpected things can be very positive. It's like a surprise. I consider it the surprise card now. And again, some people don't like surprises, but surprises can be wonderful. And maybe that's a particular thing you may also need to let go of. It's like, why do I not like surprises? Why do I have, for some of you, it could be the need to control your environment or control things around you. And again, that's fair. We all want a sense of control, but it can be wonderful when we let go of control and allow the universe to show us something unexpected. But let's go ahead and get more cards. Your actions. Let's see what Athena would like you to do, or what you are being advised to do. Wisdom coming through, please. We have the 10 of Wands. Let's clarify this. I think I know what it's trying to say, but let's clarify this. Don't, like, just because you work really hard towards something doesn't mean you're going to win. I know that's not, like, just because you put your all into something doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to bring out good results. So I'm hearing work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. It's like expecting to put in 80 hours of work into a job and then expecting a huge paycheck or a promotion. And sometimes it is, like, I'm not saying not to work hard. It's more like, how much are you making within that out? Like, how much are you making with all that time you put in? Because if you're only getting like $1 for every hour you work, that's only what did I say, $80 a week? That's not fair. Or you could make like $100 per hour, and then it would make sense. And then you would only have to work however many hours you need within that week to make your ends meet, or however much money you would like. So there's something here that if you're not seeing the results after putting so much effort into something, it's time to change up the way that you do something here. It's time to change up that particular method or strategy there. And you could pick another, I'm hearing you can pick another pile for this particular strategy if this is something that you're very curious about. That typically doesn't come through in a reading, but she's like, I got another pile for them. So this is the first one. I haven't made the other ones yet. I don't know what they have to say. Maybe they'll show up. It could also be another reading. It could also be at Elle's on Elle's reading. So make sure you go check her out, just in case she's got something in one of her readings for your success stories of this whole work smart, not hard kind of energy. Very interesting. Let's get another. What's this one going to be? Oh, okay. I'm hearing how to handle others. This is about people around you, whether they're friends, family, lovers. All right, let's get... Ooh, we have the Hierophant, karmic lessons. Is this supposed to be reversed or upright? Okay, that's... This is... Oh my god! Okay. The fact that it flipped over, I feel like some of you are refusing to learn the lesson with the Hierophant here, and the fact that we have Dionysus, he is a god of partying. This is definitely a social circle thing. Or if your family is very much like this, something about overindulgence is a thing here as well, whether that's through drinking, eating, or some other kind of party habit. It could be partying itself. It could be that kind of thing. Let's clarify something. Maybe some of you come from like a family or a group of friends that parties a lot, but you yourself are not really this way, which... fair, that's how I grew up. My family parties a lot, or they did when I was younger, and I was never that like, I was a book nerd. I liked quiet and calm. To this day, I'm still that way. Do I know how to party? Yes, I like it, but I don't, it's not my thing. It's like, I'm grateful that I know how to, because I know how to have a good time, but it's not my thing. So what about this, Athena? What's coming through? Strength. Oh, yeah, there we go. Bad habits. Some of you are just surrounded with the wrong energy. And that's what I was getting. Overcoming the need to be surrounded by energies. And these are specifically energies that you know are not good for you. So let's say you do have friends who like to party all the time, and you don't mind that either, but you're just like, I'm kind of done with this. I don't want to go out every weekend and go drinking and spend all this money on stuff that isn't even healthy for me. That's what I'm getting. And some of you really need to stay strong and firm in this belief. And if you lose friends because of this, then so be it. But I feel like a lot of you, maybe some of you have friends who have very unhealthy habits, and you could easily see yourself go that way as well, and you don't want to be around them. So I can understand why you would want to be near them, to make sure that they are taking care of themselves, but you can keep some distance between you and these people. Like I said, boundaries. There's boundaries here. I think this overindulgent persona is somebody that needs to... that you need to see less and less of, because it hasn't been healthy. For some of you, it could be the people that you are intimately with, romantically as well. Maybe you just keep going for some specific type of person that is not necessarily healthy for you. It could be I'm hearing it could be emotionally unavailable people, but at the same time, I know I'm hearing, how can I know if they're unemotionally unavailable until I get with them? This is something you look at within yourself. Again, expressing your emotions, being within your emotional space and understanding what it is that you need will truly help in gaining this particular, in observing this particular phenomenon, situation, whatever it is. There is something here about really needing to know yourself, because when it comes to the people around you, they can make you or break you. Again, especially for those of you who are very empathic, or who just absorb other people's energies very easily, you want to make sure you're surrounded by the right people, and people with the right energy as well. Because even though some people can be really, like, very nice people, very good, on the outside, when it comes to their energy, it's trash. And this is true. There have been people who wanted to be my friends because we have a lot of things in common. But when I looked at their energy, it was just not what I needed, because they would do certain things that, sure, it didn't affect me, but it affected their energy. Therefore, it would affect me. So I hope that makes sense to some of you. Like, whatever they're doing when they're not around you will also affect what they are doing. It'll affect your energy, essentially. So let's say you're with a partner, a romantic partner, who has some really shady friends or really awful friends. That energy will eventually end up affecting you. And this is very true, because I've had to experience this, and I wondered why I was getting, my body would just react in certain ways, because even though he himself was not that great, the people around him weren't. So that energy was kind of coming after me, and I had to distance myself in order to understand that. So you can set boundaries, you can be very protective, but at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is this worth keeping around or not? Another way of seeing this, and I see this a lot, and I mean a lot, within families. If your family makes you feel less than you are, there's no need to be around them that much. And I know that's easier said than done, but I have seen examples of families that, yes, they're still great families on the outside, and they're still wonderful, but there's something about their energy that just does not sit well with you. I've seen families who are very wonderful, beautiful people, but they live very unhealthy lifestyles. And I've seen people, move out of that household or move away from that family, become very healthy and have their own mindset, and they became just such a much more different person. Very interesting that is coming through. But I know families are harder to distance yourself from, but I feel like, again, set those boundaries and set yourself apart from the society, the environment around you. Let's get one last card, and this can be anything else that comes through. But mostly, I feel like this is all about relationships and the people you surround yourself with. For my pile one, we have the Four of Coins, holding on to certain things. The fact that she wanted to come out reversed, though, I feel like you're going to learn to let go of things. You're going to see how beautiful it is to let go. I am currently filming this during the fall season, and I think that's one of the most beautiful metaphors for how lovely things can be when you let them go. The leaves on the trees fall, so the trees essentially let them go, knowing that they will get new leaves in the following year, in the following seasons. So I feel like there's something here. It could be about the fall season that could also be very important, but you will learn that in letting go, you feel a lot more free. Yeah, Three of Wands. And inevitably, things will happen where the universe will take things away from you because they were not meant for you. Whether this is a person, people, or situation, I feel like you have to understand, things will work out for the better. Back of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. This is you having to focus on your stability, your own stability, and in a very independent way. Because for some of you, you've been relying on stability from others, whether it's a family or a romantic partner or friendships, whatever the situation is. But you will learn to stand within your own truth, to stand within your own ability to take care of yourself, to provide for yourself, and understand your absolute worthiness here. What's underneath the King of Pentacles? Yeah, the Emperor. Some of you are stepping into masculine energy, regardless of your genders here. After all, Athena is a very masculine goddess. And Seven of Cups, knowing that the options will present themselves to you when they are ready. You are going to have many options. I'm also seeing many pathways that you can take in life. I feel like whatever situation you're in right now is actually cutting you off to a lot of possibilities, because the possibilities are going to be endless for you, and they're going to come from the heart. They're going to be based on emotion. So I feel like in your case, pile one, it wouldn't hurt to follow certain paths based off how you feel about them. Because for you, at least, your feelings and your intuition are going hand in hand. They're kind of tied together, at least to some extent. So I hope these messages are finding you well. I'm loving this energy. I feel like we spoke a lot here. If you can hear that, that's my stomach. I don't know why I'm starving because I swore I ate something before I came here. But I'm also at like, what am I at? 33 minutes. Maybe 33 is a special number for you, pile one. So let's go ahead and get some closing advice. For some reason, I'm being called to send you to a reading that I did called Why Are You Stuck on This Situation? There's a reading I did, I think, last week or the week before, I'm not sure, previously, that I posted it today, but you won't see this until sometime early September, because that's the date me and Elle, and I guess Athena along with us, decided on for this reading. But I do encourage you to go look at that particular reading, because some of you might be stuck on a situation, and if you are, that could definitely help you release certain energies. But let's go ahead and look at your advice. This is from a handmade oracle I made. It's just postcards that I put a lot of quotes and words and whatever came through. So we have this one with these beautiful poppies. You'll be given love, you'll be taken care of. This is Bjork, All is Full of Love, and that's such a beautiful song. Like I said, lots of love songs, but this one in particular is more about loving yourself and loving the souls within people. So trusting in love, trusting in the universal love is what I'm getting for this. Let's go ahead and get more cards from this one. Okay, these two wanted to come through. You have these cute little strawberries. I want to protect you from everyone and everything. So there's a protective energy here. This could be your own. This could be the people around you. This could also be Athena herself saying that she is a protective force around you. I'm thinking of the myth of Medusa, and there's various interpretations on that. But there's one that says that the reason she made Medusa look like a monster and gave her all these awful things is to protect her from men who would want to take advantage of her again, essentially. It's like, I made you this way so nobody will ever hurt you. So you can take that if it resonates. You don't have to, depending on what version of that myth you prefer. And then we have the last card, which is this one with little pine cones. I love pine cones. I'm weird. I love to collect pine cones during the fall. The seeds of this are growing. Yeah, there's something about growth here. You're going to grow into something amazing, something beautiful. And there's transformative energy coming through. So 33 is an important number because I just looked at the back of this. This is the Angel Numbers deck. I'm going to go ahead and take it. 33, any positive changes or projects you are considering right now will be worth your while. Expect that your power to manifest and create will be heightened. I am expanding. Yeah, there's a lot of growth here. Expansion, growth. You're going to let go of certain situations, people, things that you were making decisions out of being conditioned to do so. Like you only chose those things because other people were telling you to do them or to do so, and not because you were listening to your inner voice, your heart, your mind, whatever the situation is, your intuition for a lot of you. One more card, we have 555. I am optimistic. A major shift is about to come into your life, experience, and change your path's direction. Be open and stay positive. Like I said, you're going to have like a positive surprise come through. That's the universe coming in to give you something you weren't expecting or to show you something you weren't expecting. This is all positive stuff, I promise you. Optimistic expansion. And then we're going to get some runes because I've been really into runes lately. For my pile one. All right, we have this one. I'll take all four. All right, we have Berkana, which is love. This is love. I'm also hearing family, love and family. We have Anzus, and I'm not surprised. This is the rune of wisdom of all things. It resonates with Odin, who is also a god of wisdom. He's also another one of mine. I tend to go for the gods and goddesses of wisdom in general. We also have Laguz, healing. Yes, you're going through a healing journey or maybe coming out of one or currently going through one. Uruz, strength. There's a lot of strength coming through here. I'm hearing Hera give me strength. So I feel like a lot of you can also ask Athena for strength. It's kind of like, do not be afraid to ask for her strength when you need your mind to be clear. Do not be afraid to ask for her strength when you need to set course, some sort of action, or to come up with a strategy to better yourself. This includes within finances. This includes within having to move away from certain people. And this also includes when it comes to romantic situations. It's like, give me strength to make the right choices within love. Or another way of seeing it is like, give me the strength to make the right choices, to make the right strategy for moving out of a situation that I don't want to be in any longer. That's what I'm hearing. So beautiful energy coming through. But this is where I leave you, pile one. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. And make sure you head over to Elle's temple to see her reading of Athena for you. And feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing so. I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile two. If you chose the red jasper heart, then we have a reading here for you about messages and guidance from Athena, the goddess of strategy. We're looking at what strategy you need right now in life to carry forward with either whatever you're going through right now or just messages that you may need to hear from the goddess of wisdom herself. This is a special reading in collaboration with Elle from Elle's Temple. So once you're done with this particular pile, go ahead and click on her reading to see what she has to channel for you from the great goddess Athena. So I have a song stuck for you, pile two. It's Billie Eilish's Chihiro, and I know that song is inspired by, or at least the name of the song is inspired by Spirited Away. So that movie could be calling to you as well. But what I was getting, because I keep hearing, did you take my love away? I keep hearing like some of you may have come from a background of having to grow up too fast, whether that was because you were expected to or because of the circumstances that you had when growing up. For some of you, this could be like a coming of age sort of feeling. And I was having this thought the other day where I'm 34, like I'm clearly past the age of quote, quote, coming of age. But those stories really never lose their significance or their impact because you could argue that at any age, at any point in our life, we are coming of age into whatever it is that we are coming into. You know, for me, it was my 30s, my early 30s, how different that felt from my 20s, how different that felt from my teens, etc. And I feel like every decade or every era of your life really does have this. So I feel like some of you are coming into a new age of something. It doesn't even have to be about your age. It could just be like a new era of yourself. And this does have to stem back to at some point in your childhood when you had to smarten up, essentially. That's what I'm hearing. Like you had to get very quick with everything because suddenly you couldn't listen to your heart anymore. You had to use your mind. You had to use your brain. So that explains why Athena is very strong with you. It's like she took you under her wing because you needed wisdom. And at that time, it was like she was the goddess that kind of claimed you, or that you would claim depending on how you were viewing goddesses at that moment. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you have her very strongly with you, kind of like a mother guardian or like a mentor of some kind, whether you realize this or not. So it's no surprise that you're here. So we have Athena strategy. This is from the Goddesses and Sirens deck. And we have red jasper, the heart. Yeah, did you take my love away? What is that song about? I haven't heard it in a minute. When you come back around, will I know what to say? Not today, not tomorrow. It's a beautiful song. I really love it. But let's go ahead and get your cards to see what else is wanting to come through for you, my beautiful pile two. What do we have for pile two? We have reasoned, 33. 33 was a number that also came out in pile one. Maybe some of you are here because of pile one, or you've just let the video continue playing, which I know is very common. I don't take offense to that. I kind of love it. Sometimes our laziness will take us to certain places that we really need to be. You know, it's like, let me just keep going on this road. Let me just keep doing what I was doing and see where this lands me. Some of you are very go with the flow. Again, because of a past or maybe a previous situation where you had to really take full control of something. I feel like some of you go through periods of like being completely in control and then being absolutely not in control, not caring, and then being completely in control and then not caring anymore. It's kind of like a weird cycle that you have. I guess it depends on the situation, season, how you're going. We have committed. This came out in pile one as well, just for more synchronicity. Reasoned, committed. Back of the deck, we have, yeah, this also came out in pile one. So some of you are definitely here from pile one. Let's get more cards. But how are we supposed to take this in this particular reading for my pile twos? There's a common theme here of following your heart, and I'm very, it's weird that this is coming through in an Athena reading because Athena is very much a goddess of her mind, but I feel like the way I was channeling her in the first pile was that she's kind of tired of people assuming that she has no emotions, because she very much does. But it's kind of like making that work in sync with your mind, like your mental clarity and your emotional clarity coming through. We have Libra, beauty. A swan glides into view. What does beauty mean to you? Does it evoke wonder, peace, joy, meaning, or something else? How much does the pursuit of beauty guide your actions? Ask yourself whether your unique perspective on beauty is benefiting or hindering you. And then we're going to get cards from this super sparkly crystal oracle deck. This is her debut, and I love her already. I mean, look how sparkly she is. So for my pile 2, okay, we have 2. We have Kyanite, tune into your inner truth. This will go here. And Citrine, tackle that to-do list. And then back of the deck, we have, oh, how do you say this one? Chrysoprase. If it's not your vibe, don't imbibe. If it's not your vibe, don't imbibe. I feel like some of you are going through like a bit of an inner struggle of choosing between what needs to be done, like chores, like your to-do list, and then doing what you want to do, which is your inner truth. It's kind of like, you know, when you have your own space and you're having to choose between doing something you really enjoy, like a hobby or something creative, or doing something that you know you should do, like laundry or cleaning your space, whatever the situation is. I'm feeling a divide here between those two energies, because like I said, you go through moments of being completely needing to be in control, and then absolutely no control, you don't care, you let everything go. And it's kind of like a back and forth. It feels almost like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of energy, where you're just kind of being pulled into very different directions. I'm going to go ahead and get more cards, because I feel like this is going to be one where I need to see everything before I start channeling for my pile 2. And for some of you, you're kind of avoiding this. And I see this a lot in people who have a lot to do, especially things that they need to do, but they don't want to. It's procrastination, essentially. And sometimes we procrastinate through creative activities. I know I used to when I was in college. I would have all this writing to do. I would have all these papers and subjects. Like I would have all this stuff to do, but I would always like escape by writing fiction. That was my escape, was instead of writing stuff for school, I would write stuff for my own entertainment. I know that sounds odd. Who distracts themselves with writing? Apparently me. And for some people it's reading. For some people it's a hobby here. Not trying to call it a bad habit. That's not what this is. This is you trying to avoid certain things by focusing on something creative. And sometimes that creative thing can actually be very beneficial to you. For example, if it's like a workout thing, like yoga or dancing, that's very beneficial to you. I used to do that as well. I would go to yoga class and be like, let me just stay here for like 2 sessions to avoid doing what I needed to do. All right, we have the river. 34, 33, 34. These could be important numbers. It's definitely a oh, okay, the vow. Okay. Some of you are avoiding commitment or promises to somebody. I'm not sure if it's like a relationship thing or like vows that you have made to friends, family, something that you kind of promised to something. Commitment makes me think this could, for those of you who are already in like a relationship, this could be to that, like you're avoiding certain things. If it's friends, you're avoiding certain things that you wanted to do with them. And for family, of course, I feel like a lot of us try to avoid certain commitments we keep to our families, or that we're somehow expected to keep. Because after all, if this is coming, oh, back of the deck of the warrior. If this is coming from that family that made you have to grow up really quickly, maybe you're avoiding them altogether because you no longer want to be that go-to, the go-to sibling, parent, cousin, whatever it is that you are here, child, that has to fix everything for everybody. It's kind of like you've taken on a lot and you want to focus on certain things. And that makes sense. When we grow up having to take on so much responsibility, I guess as we get older, we escape through doing things that we want to do as opposed to the things that we know we should do. I see this in adults a lot, where they, instead of spending money on their bills, which is what they should do because that's why they have a living that they're making, they will spend it on hobbies. So, and I've literally seen this with people who make like six figures and up. You know, I've seen them not pay their bills. Like, how does somebody who makes six figures US dollars not pay their bills on time? I used to see that in certain people I used to know, but they would spend it on like expensive, you know, clothes, things, trinkets, vacations, whatever, just weird things like that. It's like, why is that being sent in that direction? It's kind of like you've been exhausted by the things that you know you should do, that you want to do the things you want to do now. I forget what this is called psychologically, but I know that it's a thing where because you're expected so much to do certain things, you kind of, your body, your mind, your mentality rejects it. It's like, no, I want to do the things I want to do now. I want to spend my money how I want. I want to spend my time how I want. I don't care if there's anything else that needs to be done. I have to tend to myself. And this is at odds, of course, with the things that you need to do. Let's get one more card. I'm going to get the animal cards deck. Dragon, yeah. Some of you could be you're the dragon. Take that only if it resonates. And then we also have hoarding, because I'm thinking of how dragons hoard their wealth, but it's like, why is a dragon hoarding wealth when what does a dragon have to buy? They just keep things that are shiny because they're shiny and they like them. I think that's just how they are. I don't know if there's like any sort of mythology about the dragon keeping treasure that is important here. And if there is, by all means, let me know. I'd love to learn this kind of stuff. But I'm thinking of somebody who is doing certain things or not doing certain things when they know they should. And the truth is, it's an act of rebellion against some sort of aspect of either themselves or the people around them. It's like because you were expected to do certain things for so long, to keep so many responsibilities, to, you know, be a good boy, good girl, whatever the situation is here. It's like you don't want to do that anymore. You want to do something else. I'm thinking of when Britney shaved her head. It's like we all thought she was going crazy at the time, but then many years later we find out she literally had no control over her life because she was expected to be this performer to bring the money in for her family, and then we saw how that went. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm not saying that some of you are losing your mind over this, no, but there is a similarity in that you may find yourself procrastinating or choosing certain things, choosing certain habits, or what is the word? Escapism. This is what this is. You're choosing to live in moments of escapism because you get tired of having to deal with the everyday real life that is expecting you to do so many things that you don't want to do or that you are tired of doing. You have been overburdened with something here, and you are wanting to instead do just the things that you want. And that's fair, but I feel like there's like either an imbalance or just like the biggest tug of war within yourself between these two particular energies. With warrior, it's kind of like the only person you are fighting is yourself. Maybe sometimes you go through bouts of restlessness or moments when you can't really sleep because you think of how much you wasted the day on either a job you don't like but that you have to do to make money, or maybe you spent the whole day, your day off, cleaning your entire house, maintaining your house, doing just things that you know you need to do. And I feel like you don't hate any of that. Like you clearly don't have any regret or you don't dislike it. It's just like, when do I find time for me? When do I do the things that make me happy? You know, maybe same thing with relationships. If we're talking about relationships, if you're in a connection, maybe you spend a lot of time doing things for your person that you don't have enough time to do things for yourself. Therefore, you will spend like maybe days without having to speak to them. And it's not that you want to leave them or anything. It's just that you're taking back that time for yourself. And this may even include when they're asking you to, you know, go to a family function or do something that is important for them. It's like you don't dislike them, but you've been so burnt out and having to pour your energy into them that you now need to you desperately need to pour it back into yourself. And if you're not in a connection, if we're talking about previous connections or like a whole pattern here, because for some of you, there are patterns coming through. It could be that in previous connections, you may have been very committed. You may have, you know, again, poured a lot of yourself into connections that lasted a very long time. Like maybe this was several years. And now that you're out of that particular connection or connections, you're spending your time having flings or dating around or keeping your options open, being very non-committal when you used to be a very committal kind of person, which again, it seems like that makes sense. You're making up for time that you lost pouring into something else or doing the things that you felt you should do, and now you're just doing whatever it is that your heart desires. And sometimes what your heart desires isn't always the best thing. You know, it can be a capricious thing. It could be like a child who's been given too much freedom. You give them $10 and go to a candy store, they're going to spend all those $10 on the craziest candy, you know, whatever it is that they find. It's like not understanding the value of that time. It's kind of like the value of your time has been distorted somehow. With beauty, I feel like some of you could be tapping into very physical things. Like maybe you're going for looks over content, or looks over whatever's going on beneath the surface. It's like you're very much judging a book by its cover, as opposed to by, you know, the excerpt or a chapter or something of it. You're becoming very superficial because of this particular situation, in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't necessarily have to be about looks. It's like, where do we find this balance? Where do we find, because when I'm thinking of river, I'm thinking of how a river flows. Because a vow is a commitment, but river, let me read from the book. I feel like I might be missing out on a particular meaning. But now that I think of it, I'm thinking of Pocahontas in the Disney movie, where she was meant to marry Kocoum, and instead she's like, you know, rivers aren't steady at all. And she gets in the river and she's like, no, I want whatever's around the river bend. I want something else. This isn't my thing, you know. And at the very end, she's like, should I marry Kocoum, or should I just do whatever destiny has set out for me? So some of you could be at a crossroads as well of what it is that you want. And I feel like maybe this is what this tug of war has really been. It's leading up to two very diverging paths that you have to choose between. And it could be like a point of no return. It could be something that really alters your life. And I'm not here to say which one is better for you or not. I just feel like this whole situation is leading to some sort of anxiety over what it is that you have to choose. Should you remain a certain way, or should you choose the things that you know are going to lead you back to this frenzy of indecision, essentially? But let me go ahead and read from the book for the river. The stream, the flow, the current. There is a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied in physical form. Without asking anything in return, the river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. Once we step in, we are no longer in control. The river carries us farther down the stream of transformation than we planned to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind the you that stands within the river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential. Nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. Yeah, this is accepting yourself as you are, being taken by the current, and allowing yourself to flow freely with whatever it is that you know you have to do. Much like Pocahontas, like she was meant to marry this dude that her father picked out for her. And I mean, yeah, the dude was hot and everything. And even that series, like, let's face it, some of us were like, why didn't you just go with Coco and Pocahontas? But that's not what she wanted. She wanted to choose for herself. And maybe that decision wasn't the best, because I mean, her and John Smith were not really meant to be. It was a cute little thing that they had, but it wasn't meant to be. And of course, if you want to look at it from a more historical perspective, you can, but I'm just going based off the Disney version that I'm seeing. It's your choice. It's like, it doesn't matter if the choice you made is wrong or right. You just kind of want to have your own choices here. You want to have more control over this. But the truth is we have to let go of control in general. So very interesting, the energy that is coming through here, the being pulled apart in two different ways. I was getting something else with the vow here. But yeah, this does very much feel like a coming of age story, or a coming of age type of energy, where you're coming into something new and you're being pulled apart in two different ways that you didn't realize you were being pulled apart in. It's like you're no longer going on this old journey that people expected you to go on, or even that you yourself had set out for yourself. Maybe you decided you wanted something and this was a whole plan. Maybe you had a 5-year plan or something, and now suddenly something is thrown at you and you're like, wow, I don't want that anymore. I am no longer made for that. I can't remain on that road. I have to go down this other one, and it may be imperfect, but it is mine, and I'm going to have to follow that. So If this sounds like something you're going through, pile 2, we can continue on to the tarot. Though, yeah, I feel like some of you, you're coming from a past of being misunderstood or expected to do things that you don't want to do, expecting to give so much of yourself to something you don't want to give to yourself, too much of yourself to. And now you're choosing your own thing. You're choosing your own path. With the warrior, there's definitely a warrior within you. You're at war with yourself, but you kind of also want to be at war with anybody who decides that you can't do whatever it is that you want to do. You're very much your own person. I hope everybody here is an adult as well. You have your own journey ahead of you. For some of you, the idea of beauty could be coming into play here as well, or relationships in general. But yeah, let's move on to the tarot portion, because this is a very interesting reading. All the readings have been interesting so far. And of course, once you're done with this, do head over to Elle's temple to see what her take on messages from Athena are. I'm excited for that as well, because I don't know, I love the synchronicities me and her have sometimes, because we've been going back and forth for a minute. So I do hope that our messages, I wouldn't surprise me if the piles were similar as well, because I kind of left it open for interpretation. But let's go ahead and get your cards. We're using the Mythos Tarot deck for my pile 2. So this might differ slightly from pile 1. If you came from pile 1, I'm kind of just coming up with the subjects for each pull as I go, starting with your outer, what's going on in your exterior, your body, your surroundings, your environment, the people around you. And these may or may not have anything to do with the oracles that came through. So just take these as they resonate. For my pile 2, messages and wisdom from Athena. 3 of coins, 3 of pentacles, the Morai. Don't be afraid to collaborate with people. Don't be afraid to ask for their input or to ask for their advice as well. I feel like when you have an outside party, outside of yourself, when you have this outside party, you're able to really look at things very thoroughly, or they're able to catch certain things about you. Sometimes people are better at understanding you than yourself, or understanding certain aspects of yourself. I feel like some of you have closed off certain people, again, because you just kind of wanted time away to really understand what it is that you want, to pour all that energy back into yourself instead of others. But also, don't be afraid when people come through with advice about certain things. Don't be afraid to listen to them, because even, this is going to sound weird, even the craziest people, even the people that you hate the most, will have something useful for you to understand. Like, it doesn't matter what the intention behind their advice was. It doesn't matter what the intention behind whatever they were trying to do is. Whatever they do or say will be insightful in whatever next step you need to take should be. Does that make any sense? Because for some of you, I'm seeing like your worst enemy, your worst rival, the person you hate the most, come through and either say or do something to you or about you. And that itself is going to give you an indication of like, you know what? Thank you. That is all the proof I needed that I need to do this, this, and that, or that I don't need to do this, this, and that. It's that kind of energy. For some of you, it might be somebody who you don't like, because it did want to come out reversed, but I'm not taking it reversed. Just so I don't confuse myself right now, because I'm channeling very strongly certain things. Let's see what's going on with you internally. Pile 2. We have strength reversed. Some of you feel that you can't do this on your own, or that I'm hearing resistance is futile, or this is useless. What's the point? Some of you are really in like very, I don't want to call it apathetic energy, but that's what it feels like. It feels like you kind of just have stopped caring. Let's clarify this one though. The Star. Yeah, it's like you feel like you have no hope for the situation. Let's go ahead and get more cards. Let's get more clarity into why is the situation the way it is, Athena? Why is the situation the way it is? Ace of Swords, chaos. When you bring something new into your life, it's going to bring chaotic energy, is what I'm hearing. When you have a new mindset, it will shift everything. Think of like an earthquake, or maybe not an earthquake, but think of a ripple effect. There's a new drop into the body of water, and there's a ripple effect, and that will disrupt the clear surface of the the smooth surface of the water. That's what I'm seeing. For some of you, it's kind of like because you have a new altered mindset, maybe even the people around you are acting differently, or you yourself are kind of disrupting everything else in your house. It's like, for example, when you learn about feng shui and energy and how it moves throughout the home, you want to move everything in your house right away, you know? You want to do that right away. It's like, oh, this is actually bad feng shui. Let me move it here. And before you know it, you have your furniture all out of whack and everything else is like in different places. And you have to get used to how everything is positioned now, right? That's what I'm seeing for some of you. So this is going on mentally though. This is going on within your head. When you have new perspectives, when you have new knowledge, when you have a new way of believing in things, everything will shift. You could see this as law of attraction even, because when you finally accept that you don't want the old life and you want the new life, everything around you will shift in the way you view things. This is very much something that is going on internally and it's altering the things around you. So let's say you want better for yourself. You no longer want to be the old you. New people will come into your life. Old people will fall away. Some people who don't want to fall away may start acting in a not so great way. You know, they may start reacting negatively towards you, your new ideas or your new ambitions, whatever the situation is. And the people who have always supported you will like applaud you. They'll adore you. They'll love you. They'll congratulate you on your way. It all depends, but it's like for some of you, you have a new mindset, because I'm literally seeing the image I'm seeing is, and I'm not saying I support this because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to on YouTube, but what I'm seeing is like somebody who does ayahuasca and comes back a changed person. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not suggesting you do this. I'm not saying this is what you have to do, but it's very similar. It's like your mindset is no longer the same. So therefore, everything around you is going to change due to the way your mind is now and the vibration you are emanating, essentially. Very interesting energy. So this is why this is happening. You've gone through a major shift. You've decided you want certain things, and the world will fall accordingly into place for you. And there's actually no strategy here. I feel like this is just something that has been implemented and you're being guided as to why things are going this way. But let's see things that you should do or things you should avoid. That can be the next two cards. So things you should do. Guided by the goddess Athena. We have Two of Coins, balance, absolute balance. I'm not surprised. I feel like you've been needing balance for a moment. What's a good way to balance though? Can we clarify this a little bit more? I'm being told two more cards. We have the Hierophant, learn from your past mistakes. I take the Hierophant to mean karmic lessons. So learn from your past mistakes. Don't be afraid to, I'm also hearing don't be afraid to repeat mistakes, knowing that this time around you have a better hold of them. You have a better way of handling them. So it's like, don't fear anything. If something repeats itself, it's for you to show yourself just how much further along you've come, to show how you have leveled up, how you no longer handle things the way you used to. And I've had to do this recently with somebody that with a situation that I was going through. It's like the second time around that this happened, I was much better behaved. The way I sound, I was handling it much better than I used to. And I was so proud of myself for this. I was like, past me could never have done this. Past me would have been in shambles. And even though I kind of still was, it was a very different kind of shambles. Like, Stephanie now could never be like Stephanie in the past because I've changed so much. And similarly, Pile, to whatever the situation is, if it seems like a pattern that repeats itself, you are growing, you are becoming different. Your mindset is different. So it can no longer affect you in the way it used to. I'm going to get the third card for this one. That's another way to go about doing this. King of Wands, knowing that you have control, knowing that that it is right, safe, and good for you to have control, knowing that it is okay for you to be in control, because even though you have seen people around you misuse their control against other people or themselves or whatever the situation was, you are not like this. You have more of a conscience in this person. You are much more full of love than this person. You're much more introspective and self-aware than the people that you've seen abuse their control, essentially. And I hope that doesn't get censored. But yeah, understanding that you have power over yourself more than anything. And because you have power over yourself, your power influences others. That's what true power is. Power isn't controlling people. Power is you controlling yourself and knowing that people will respect that and fall in line with you because you are able to control yourself. People choose their leader. The leader doesn't choose their people. Does that make sense? Like, people don't follow somebody because they have a title. People follow somebody because they see qualities within that person that they admire, that they know is good. I'm feeling very democratic right now, like a whole, like how people really do choose their person here. Not to get into politics or anything. It's just like, this is the kind of energy you are embodying. People are going to want to choose you because they know you have a certain mindset, a certain vision, or a certain way of doing things that they really adore and want to follow. So some of you are natural born leaders and you don't even know it. Let's go ahead and get the last card. Things you should avoid doing. What not to do. And I'm not here to tell you what to do, pile 2, because I feel like you're probably done with that as well. But what should you avoid? Let's put it that way. What should you avoid? We have the Knight of Cups. She wanted to come out reversed. Don't be afraid of following what makes you happy. Don't be afraid of fulfilling a wish, a desire, like a long-term dream that you've had for years that you've never really fully grasped because you thought it was so out of reach. Don't be afraid of all your dreams coming true because of this energy. Don't be afraid of following your heart. Don't be afraid of allowing good things to come into your life, pile 2. Some of you have been keeping it away for a long time because of this feeling of that it wasn't good enough for you, or that you didn't deserve it, or that you had to focus so much on all these things that were calling your name that you couldn't focus on the thing that you wanted. Don't be afraid of allowing your wishes to come true, of following your dream, of going after that which makes you happy. Don't be afraid of that. So what not to do? Don't let the things that make you happy slip by. I want to clarify this one. What else not to do? The World. Don't be afraid to end things that you know have come to a close. Some of you have already finished a chapter and you're delaying closing it out, or you're kind of really done with a certain situation and you're afraid of letting it go because you've held on for it for so long that you're not aware that there's new things coming for you. Like I said, there's diverging paths and new things will open up for you here. Back of the deck, we have the Six of Cups. There is nostalgia here, but don't allow yourself to be swayed by nostalgia. Don't allow yourself to be swayed by some promise of, how do I put this? Don't be afraid. Don't be swayed by things of the past, essentially. Some people may try to guilt you into doing things because of history or because of the past you have or because family, whatever the situation is. But I feel like you have to look at yourself as like, does this still resonate? You can love and appreciate and respect and honor your past without wanting to go back to it. You can definitely do that. What's underneath this? Yeah, Ten of Swords. You're done being in this energy of feeling defeated or feeling that you have no control over a situation. You're picking yourself back up and new things are coming through for you. I feel like embracing something new right now is going to benefit you big time. Even if it's something that you feel isn't very true to yourself, I feel like learning about other perspectives, learning about how other people function, think, work, is going to help you figure yourself out. So don't be afraid to try out things that aren't very you, but that could be you. Does that make any sense? If we're talking about dating wise, don't be afraid to date outside of what your normal type is, if you even have a type. Something along those lines. So, and job wise, don't be afraid to go for a job that you typically wouldn't do. I feel like it may become a lot more you than you realize, or it'll help you figure out who you are. You're in a very experimental era of your life right now, pile 2, and I feel like you're going to come across a lot of things that you didn't realize you were into, a lot of things that you didn't know that had been calling to your soul for a long time. I'm trying to think of an example, but I don't want to give it away because I feel like it gives too much of my personal life away. But there were certain things that I used to like growing up that I never really embraced as I got older because I was like, oh, whatever, those are things for those kinds of people. Those are not things for me. But then as I grew older, that aching, that longing for that thing that I used to like as a child never really went away. So I embraced it over this past summer and I was like, oh wow, I actually really like this. Why did I deny myself this for a long time? Because I'd been told to, because I'd been told that, oh, girls don't do that, or girls who like that stuff are this way, and etc. etc. And I'm like, why did I believe that? Why did I deny myself something that my little heart had been wanting for a long time? And I'm glad I did, because I learned something new about myself, and now that's something that I can enjoy without any guilt, you know? There's something about guilty pleasures within this reading as well that I feel like some of you have already been resonating with. But yeah, I feel like a lot of you are stepping into new energy and embracing it and not caring what anybody has to say about it. We have a lot of air energy here, which I'm not surprised with the Ace of Swords and the star is Aquarius. The Hierophant is Taurus. Taurus being like the social norm, the status quo, traditions and whatnot. And then the star Aquarius is that which is not. It's completely opposite. It's that which is new and exciting and innovative. Strength is Leo. So yeah, being at odds with these things. What else do we have? We have a little bit of everything. So I feel like you'll be just fine going forward, knowing that you're integrating a little bit of everything, because the World card to me is every single sign. So the World is also a card of, like, to me at least, I associate it with like the 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. So I feel like a lot of you are coming into this slowly, bit by bit. Things will start making sense for you, even though at the beginning we felt like we were being pulled apart. And yeah, the energy in the beginning was very anxious as well. It was making me anxious. But things will work out for you, Pile 2. I feel like you know exactly what you need to do. What's underneath that? 7 of Coins. Less work for sure. And Ace of Cups. All right, so let's move on to some closing advice. That was a weird bit of a trance. I feel like that was odd. Let's see. So I'm using my, this is my handmade oracle. I took a bunch of postcards and put quotes on it, including some song lyrics and just things that I came up with on my own while being bored. I'm coming up with an oracle. All right, we have this one. Memories, wisdom, lessons. Yeah, I feel like we were talking about this throughout the reading. Your memories bring wisdom and lessons. Or your memories bring lessons and wisdom. I guess that's the better sequence of that. Let's get another card. We have this one. The times when we rest in stillness can be the times of greatest progress. Like I said, some of you could be coming out of a bit of a hermit mode, or you're coming out of a moment where you were just like numbed with indecision. And this is the rune Isa, which I will get some runes once I'm done pulling these cards. But there's going to be great progress in this entire episode here for you. We also have these. There must be something strangely sacred in salt. It is in our tears and in the sea. The ocean could be important for you, Pile 2. You could benefit by going to the ocean or even traveling over the ocean. And then with tears and salt, some of you could, like, I'm seeing an Epsom salt bath for some of you, which is very healing. At least for me it is. And then tears. Maybe some of you are kind of tired of being in this energy of, like, I'm feeling some of you have cried a lot. And crying is very healing, so don't ever feel ashamed of that. Like I said, I'm a crybaby as well, but at least I'm not sure if I told this pile that. I might have told the other pile that. Regardless, it is a well-known fact I'm a crybaby, and it always feels very healing. Like, I hate it in the moment, and I hate the, you know, there's shame that comes with that. But then it's like, you know what? It's been very healing. Because it releases stress. But let's go ahead and get your, oh, back of the deck. I cannot help but love you. Oh, this is so sweet. There is love here. Love for yourself above all. But let's go ahead and get your runes. For my pile 2. Any wisdom that wants to come through. We got 4. So this is Nautis, which is constraint. We have Kanas, luck. I feel like you're about to come into a lot of luck because you're finally deciding to be very authentic to yourself. You're going to come about a lot of luck, or you could meet people that bring luck to you. We also have, this is Awas, safety. I feel like some of you are heading towards somewhere a lot more safe, because I was getting that with Nautis as well. It's constraint, but I want to say it's also, I'll look into the book that I was reading. And then this is Wonjo, joy. Yeah, it's like you're coming out of this fight or flight mentality, this survival mode mentality, and you're embracing luck and joy. Like, you're finally letting go of something that made you feel like you weren't really, like you weren't happy in this past energy. That's for sure. You were not living your fullest life. It made you feel small with constraint, and it made you feel like you needed to go to safety. But now you're embracing something much more happier. And then we're also getting, your angel numbers deck for my pile 2. 777. What did I say about luck? I am in the flow. Oh, just like the river. Yeah, there's something about going with the flow here, just following what your heart desires. Your purpose flows from within you, and everything that is unfolding or being revealed to you is part of your purpose, a state of peace and calmness in your soul. Yeah, I feel like you're stepping into calmer waters. You're stepping into a sense of purpose and peace, and it's all going to fall into place for you, pile 2. Let's go ahead and get another card. I'm loving this conclusion of this particular reading because it started off not so great. We have 55. Master number, I am evolving. Substantial change is in your future. Embrace the change, a need to overcome your insecurities and let go of your fears. I love this for you. This is all in synchronicity. I love it for you, pile 2. I am wishing you nothing but the best. Choose yourself, choose the things that make you happy, and you will find greater freedom there. But this is where I leave you, pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to go to Elle's temple and click her reading to see what her version of Athena's channeled messages have in store for you. But I'll see you next time. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the clear quartz crystal, then we have a reading here for you about messages from Athena, what wisdom and strategies she has for you right now. This is a reading in collaboration with Elle from Elle's temple. So after this reading, after you're done with this pile or whatever piles you chose, you can choose more than one, go ahead and click in the description below. I'm going to send you over to Elle and her reading to see what she channels from the goddess herself for you. So we're going to go ahead and start with your oracles to see what the subject matter of this particular reading is. So we're going to start with, let's start with the archetypes. For my pile 3, I feel like a lot of you don't really deal with the goddess Athena that much. Maybe you're just here out of curiosity, which is very interesting. She is a goddess of, among various things, war, specifically the strategic element of war. So anything that involves the mind, anything that involves having to do critical thinking, she is there with you. So if you were a very smart kid growing up, she was probably within, I almost said within your chart, your astrological chart, but she was probably very strongly with you. She's also a goddess of like arts and crafts because she's known for her weaving. And a goddess of victory, Pallas Athena specifically. It's like what is it? It's like another aspect of her. So she is a goddess of victory because her strategies tend to lead toward victory. So we have the mask. We also have, okay, 2 more. The crone, the riddle. This is a very mysterious pile. I feel like I'm not really tapping into your energy. This might be my pile of people who do, what is it? It's a psychological defense mechanism. Some people have this where they just don't want their energy being tapped into. So they have like a very strong psychological barrier, or sorry, spiritual psychic barrier, not psychological, though both could be the case. Maybe you do both. Let's get more cards for you just to get a landscape of what wants to come through for you, pile 3. Some of you might do deep breathing exercises. We have Capricorn emotion, confidence or despondency. Step onto the forest path. If you are able to embrace confidence, stand tall with a sense of inner strength as you step into the unknown. The opposite feeling is one of ongoing gloom and low motivation that stems from a self-critical gaze. Cultivate your trust in yourself as you explore new paths. This would make sense. Is this my group of Moon and Capricorn people? Because you guys do emotional, psychic, and psychological defenses so strongly. I've had to deal, I grew up with them. A lot of people in my family have Moon and Capricorn, as well as a lot of my some of my friends have Moon and Capricorn as well. And when they don't want their energy being tapped into, they will automatically know what to do, even though they have no spiritual or psychological type of training. It's like they automatically know when to shut things down when they don't want to be bothered. There is one specifically, maybe it's because I have Neptune in Capricorn as well. This is why I feel it very strongly. This is essentially the energy of somebody who does not want to be messed with, which makes sense. I feel like you're that kind of person, pile 3. You don't want to be messed with, and if your energy doesn't want to be drained, it will not be drained. You don't let people take away from you because you're a very strong person, very no nonsense, very strong. You do not let people mess with you if you don't want to be messed with. It's a very it's a very interesting skill that you have acquired since you were a child. I feel like when you were young, you were surrounded by people who you just knew they were up to no good. I'm not wanting to say that they took advantage of you, because for some of you that wouldn't be the case, but you understood the human nature, you understood people's intentions. So this could also be through the help of like a spiritual guardian or a guardian angel, if you believe in that, or even an ancestor who kind of subconsciously taught you that you need to defend yourself against certain people who are just up to no good. That's what I keep hearing. I feel like that's the crone here, because I'm seeing the raven here as wisdom, much like Odin's two ravens or crows. I forget what they are, but one is thought, one is memory. I feel like this one in particular is wisdom coming through with the number 13. With the mask, that is the barrier you have. Like, you don't allow everybody to see parts of yourself unless you want them to. And I feel like you don't even get to choose the people that you want to see within your psyche. It's like your higher self, your guides, will allow the people that they know are good for you to just come through a lot more regularly or a lot more easily. I'm seeing, because I'm literally seeing like a group of people, a group of your ancestors, your angels, your guardians, spiritual guardians. Observe everybody that comes near you, and they're like picking and choosing. It's like, we don't want that one, we don't want that one. And then they see somebody who's good for you. It's like, oh, this person's good. Let them have like, they'll literally send an invitation to that person. So you may end up like meeting with people by chance of somebody who's going to be good for you. Like, I feel like your life is very spiritually orchestrated in a very divine way. And regardless of whether you yourself are very spiritual or not, this is what happens. It's very interesting energy. I've never seen this, but it looks so awesome. I love it. To see the inner workings of how this is being shown. In fact, I feel like this is why it took me a moment to really tap in. It's because like my energy was asking for permission to be able to read your energy here. And they're like, okay, yes, let them know what they need to know. I don't get this type of energy on my channel very often. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be like my new people, or people who haven't been into tarot or spirituality very long. Just, you know, that doesn't have to be the case, but I feel like this is what's going on here. Or if you've been very spiritually blocked lately and you're wondering why, this is why. If you took a break from like spiritual stuff like tarot readings, energy healings, meditation, etc., this is why. Because your guardians, I keep hearing guardians. I usually say spirit guides, but for you it's spiritual guardians. That's what they want to be called. They're like, we're protecting this particular soul very strongly. We don't allow anybody to come near, just anybody to come near them, you know. So I feel like if there are certain people that come in and out of your life, it's because they have decided who and what can come into your life. Does that make sense? And the reason Athena is being invocated here is because she is a goddess of strategy, and I feel like she's either with them or her spirit is with them. Does that make sense? Yeah, because I feel like a lot of you don't even bother with like gods or goddesses or something along those lines. Your ancestors, your spirit guardian spirits are very different from what I'm used to, but they're very strongly with you, regardless of how spiritual you yourself may be. Very interesting. I feel like the people that they are okay with having in your life will become very intuitive about you, or will have like a very strong psychic bond with you, because I'm seeing them send your people dreams about you, or even like intuitive nudges, especially people who are already very psychic. I feel like they will send them a lot of things to them for you. Very interesting. I've never seen this before. Same thing if you've ever gone to like a psychic who is clearly like one of those fake psychics. They won't give them anything. They will not give them anything. They're like, no, this one is a scam. Let's not send this one anything. So if you've ever been to one and you've had this whole of like, oh, they're all fake, that's what that is. And I've never seen them before. They're literally sitting at a table. I'm seeing this so clearly. It's like a group of aunties or uncles sitting at a table deciding who can and can't mess with you. Very interesting. With some angels thrown in there for good measure. I'm not sure what your background is. If not angels, divine beings, ascended masters. I feel like it all depends on your background. But let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards, pile 3. I've never seen that before. Okay. For my pile 3, thank you, pile 3's guardian ancestors and spiritual guardians. We have citrine. Tackle that to-do list. You have a set of goals to accomplish within this life. And I'm not sure if you are conscious of this, if you made this list yourself, or if it's just something that is within your soul contract, but it's stuff that you are meant to do and they want you to do this well. I feel like there's like a very specific purpose for you, Pile 3. Very specific. Seeing the avatar from Avatar The Last Airbender be given, like it's when he's told he's the avatar and he's like, but why? I just want to have fun. Why? That's what I'm seeing. And then we have Kyanite. Tune into your inner truth. These two came out in the previous pile, but I'm reading them differently here. It's like maybe some of you have understood or maybe known this, but you just kind of didn't always want to follow that feeling because you kind of wanted to have a little bit more freedom in this life. And I feel like you definitely have freedom, but understand that there are certain things in this life that I feel like you took it upon yourself before you were incarnated into this life. That you were like, okay, that's my mission. I'm going to do it. I'm fine. I'll go with this. This is what the riddle is. It's like you don't understand why certain things happen in your life or why they don't happen. And you're kind of wondering, is this meant for me? Is this my fate? And what I'm seeing is like, no. I'm hearing, no, baby girl, no, baby boy. We have a whole set of things that we want you to do. And we're going to do them because you're meant to do great things here. And it's not going to be easy, but you're going to love what you do. And it's going to be a great purpose. And it's going to bring such a sense of satisfaction that you look back on your life with no regrets. That's what I'm seeing here. Very interesting, Pile 3. Let me know what you do, who you are, and if this is resonating. I'm going to get one more card from the super sparkly crystal deck. Because I don't like it when all the piles have the same cards. I like you guys to have different things. Ooh, Sujilite. Keep it simple and sweet. Yeah, I feel like part of the reason some of you didn't really tap into spirituality very early on was because you wanted to have a very simple life. Or you maybe subconsciously always knew all this stuff. So you were like, okay, whatever. I'll focus on that when I have to focus on it. It's like, again, I'm being shown Avatar The Last Airbender, so I'm sorry for those of you who have never seen it, but essentially he is given the power of the Avatar. He's able to master a bunch of elements and save the world or keep the world in peace, essentially. And throughout the whole show, he's meant to have like main character energy, but he really doesn't. He just wants to be a normal kid living a normal life, but he's got all this power. Like, if you were to watch the show for the first time and you're in the middle of a episode, you wouldn't think he's the main character because he's just so... At least that's the way I've always seen Aang, is the way he just kind of blends into the background, wants to do his own thing, wants to have fun, but then you forget that he's meant to be like the most powerful bender in the world. He's meant to bring peace and unity to everybody. He's meant to do all this stuff. And he kind of takes it with a little bit of a grudge because he's like, I kind of don't want this. I just want to be a kid, you know, because he's 11. That's what I'm seeing here. It's like you want to keep things simple and sweet because you kind of know that there's things coming up for you in the future. Like you know that you're meant to take on certain things. The back of the deck is Celestite. Let your dreams talk to you. Like I said, for some of you, your dreams are very prophetic. Either people will dream of you or you will dream of so many things. So don't discount your dreams. Listen to them. They're telling you certain things that you need to do and or see. And some of you would benefit from learning to lucid dream. I myself don't know how to do it. I don't know. I've never felt the need to control my dreams. But maybe some of you would benefit from doing this. Or if you already do it, I feel like you could do a lot with this. I'm hearing dream work. Kind of like how spell work is a thing. For you, it's dream work. It's like asking questions before you go to sleep, waking up and writing down the answers right away, or seeing a very clear vision within your dreams that is going to help you out with certain things. Don't discount your dreams. Dreams can give us an indication of a lot of things. The way I interpret my dreams, because I've been a very big dreamer my whole life, very vivid dreams. My whole life I've been this way. I see whomever it is that you dream about, that's their higher self coming through, explaining themselves to you, like explaining what they're all about to you. Does that make sense? It's like if you dream about somebody, that's their spirit, that's their soul trying to tell you about themselves, or even your own guardians trying to tell you about them. Like, this is the kind of person they are currently. This is what is going on between you and them currently. This is what they would like for you currently, that kind of energy. Very interesting. This is very spiritual, but again, you keep it simple and sweet. I don't feel like you may be drawn to this kind of stuff, but you don't immerse yourself, or you don't really like do it. Like, for example, you may be okay with tarot readings, but I don't feel like you yourself do them. At least not yet. I'm not saying that you won't ever. It's like, at least not yet. Let's go ahead and get more cards for you because I'm only halfway through. Where are the animal? The animal card for you, my pile 3. Very interesting energy. Let me know if any of this resonates. We have dragon. This also came out in pile 2. Maybe some of you are here from pile 2. I'm going to get another card. I don't like it when the piles get similar cards. Butterfly, transformation. Both very, very powerful animals. I'm actually going to read from the book for the dragon because in the previous pile it was a very different theme, so I interpreted it differently. So for my pile 3 from the book, seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego, the dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their agni is dim. Agni, described as inner fire or sacred intelligence, may even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. Speaking of Agni Kais are in Avatar The Last Airbender as well, so I feel this might be my pile of people who watched that show. So, and even if you didn't, maybe you're into something similar that is within that show. I don't know. An amazing show. It's a great introduction to spirituality, at least for from a child's perspective. But with Butterfly, we have transformation. So I feel like a lot of you are going to develop a very strong sense of spirituality as you progress within life. I'm not saying right away. For some of you, it may take you years. And for some of you, it might be very soon, or you have recently gone through this. Some of you could be Year of the Dragon as well, of course, but that doesn't have to be the case. I feel like a lot of you are awakening to something here. And yeah, this is lovely energy. Let me get the last cards. What are the last cards? Here they are. For my pile 3. What messages from Athena are coming through? What wisdom is coming through? It's not just Athena. It's literally your whole... This is your ancestors coming through, your spiritual guardians. It's funny that I'm saying that term as opposed to spirit guides. I wonder why they insist on that. I'm hearing the language that they use, that's how it's translated, whatever the language or languages may have been. If you have like a very strong connection to your ancestry, that could be the case. Maybe look up how you say spirit guides in that particular language, see if that makes any sense. Okay, we have generous. I'm seeing a lot of abundance for you for sure, because citrine is a crystal of abundance. Dragons make me think of abundance because they hoard treasure. And then generous. I feel like whatever it is that you are going to gain in life, you're going to share with the world. Pile 3. We also have determined. Yeah, there's a strong determination here. Let me make sure that's in the shot. Yep. Back of the deck. Peaceful. You are coming into peaceful times for sure. Also, this is like the weirdest layout I've had, but it's very beautiful the way it came out. Okay, so messages from Athena. I keep dropping cards. My gosh. The card that fell on the floor is the Sun, Helios. This is confidence, but we'll see if it comes back out in the tarot portion. We're not there yet. So pile 3. I love this energy because, well, one, I've never felt it before. Even if you're a regular here, I feel like there's like a new part of you that is opening up. There's like a new depth to you. There's some new chapter of you, which is funny because the previous piles were talking about like a chapter that's about to open up. Maybe some of you are already past that and you're in something new. And this energy is so expansive. With the crow and the riddle and the mask, there's some sort of wisdom coming through here because I associate crows with wisdom and memory, thought and memory. At least that's the way I'm being told to take it right now. The mask is letting me know that maybe the mask is falling for some of you, or you are putting on a mask to not reveal every bit of yourself to everybody. I feel like you're becoming very guarded with your energy, your time, For some of you, your abilities. And for some of you, this riddle card is like you're constantly having to figure out certain riddles. It's like your mind is constantly being stimulated by a bunch of things that, and it feels good. This is like a good stimulation. I'm seeing like a brain massage almost, or like a mind massage. Maybe some of you would benefit from like massaging your third eye. I do that sometimes when I'm doing yoga, just to, you know, open up the third eye for whatever needs to come through. But there's a sense here that you're coming into something so amazing. Your dreams are talking to you. You're listening to your inner truth, but you're also keeping it simple and sweet. It's kind of like the swan on water, where the swan looks like it's gliding so smoothly on water, but underneath that, it's like those feet are kicking really strongly. So you're making something seem very effortless, when in truth, it's very complicated. And if you were to get into the mechanics of it, it would boggle so many minds and it would make people go crazy. But you're making something very complicated look very easy, and all people are going to see is this outside layer of it and wonder, how does pile 3 do it? How do they get there? And maybe people will try to copy you or attempt to do the things that you do, but the truth is, you've put in a lot of work towards this. I feel like your whole life has brought up certain things that are going to bring this to fruition. It's like every experience, everything you've done has been some sort of test and or lesson to bring you to this very moment, to bring you to this very energy or this kind of lifestyle. For a lot of you, this is a lifestyle. This is not a one-time thing. This is going to be a whole new way that you are going to live life. Like I said, there's a lot of peacefulness here as well, especially if you came from an energy where you were constantly either self-doubting yourself or being surrounded by people who just didn't really seem to get it. You're finally going to surround yourself with people, places, things, situations that do get it. You're gonna step into an energy where it's like you no longer question whether something is for you or not. You're understanding that you are working in conjunction with your intuitive, with your spiritual guardians, with whatever it is that you believe in, with whatever it is that you tap into to become, to be something that is quite honestly unstoppable. What's underneath this? We have fairy woman. Yeah, the transition from one phase of life to another. The fairy woman here is supposed to be like Charon in Greek mythology. He's the ferryman of the underworld who takes the soul from the land of the living to the underworld. And I'm not saying that that's what's happening to you, but you could see it very much as a soul's journey here. You're tapping into a soul's journey and you're stepping into something so much more expansive than you ever thought possible. Some of you are going to live a life that is very difficult for other people to understand, but I don't think you have to really explain yourself to anybody. If they get it, great. If they don't, well, I hope they do one day. It's kind of like you're not bothering with things of your past either, because the butterfly can no longer act or be like a caterpillar. It can try, but that's not what a butterfly is made to do. It can't even hang out with other caterpillars anymore. That'd be kind of weird. I feel like a butterfly is meant to soar. It's meant to be seen. It's meant to be, I almost said heard, but you can't hear butterflies. But you know, it's meant to be seen. It's going to be hard to ignore your presence, your energy, the kind of person you are. You could also just be very unique looking, and that could be something that is important here for you, pile 3. Like I said, it's hard to ignore. There's something here about your wings about to expand and you're about to take flight, because we have 3 animals with wings here. I almost called the butterfly a bird, but it's not a bird. We have the crow here. It's not yet expanded its wings, but the dove here has. And the butterfly has as well. Even the dragon has wings, but we don't see that within this picture. We just see its eye, because it's like you're about to take flight into something you didn't realize you were on a journey for. And I'm loving this energy. I truly am. Let me know what's going on, pile 3. And I hope what I'm channeling makes sense, because I blanked out pretty bad for a lot of that. I do that when I channel. If you're new here, so I do a combination of card reading, cartomancy, and channeling energy, just channeling the divine energy coming through and interpreting that into words that we can understand. And sometimes I gotta let my brain shove off to the side so that the intuitive messages can come through. That's just how it works. Like I'm only halfway there, or only halfway aware of what I'm saying, doing. So I have to rewatch my videos to see exactly what it is that I said. But let's move on to the tarot portion for you. So for my pile 3, messages from Athena, her inner wisdom, and strategies for you. What's going on externally? This may or may not have anything to do with the oracles. I feel like the oracles were just an introduction of how your spirituality works for you, or what you may be coming into. So for my pile 3, externally what's going on, this one. 2 of Wands, Asclepius. It's like you're planning something here. I don't know what it is that you're planning, but you're working on something. Maybe people have even seen you work on this and I'm being told to stop that. There's a lot of secrecy here. Your guides don't want you to be showing everybody what you're doing. Your guides don't want everybody to know what it is that you're up to. If you're onto new ventures, you don't have to tell everybody, just tell the people that need to know. Don't feel the need to show off. Don't feel the need to brag or anything. Like, don't even tell your casual friends. There's something here about keeping things secret because you're in the planning stages and not everybody needs to do that. You don't need other people's energy coming around to mess with this. Let's go ahead and get your inner workings. This can be emotional and or mental. Whatever's going on within you. The 9 of Wands. This is that emotional and mental barrier that you have. I feel like for a lot of you, it's going to come down a little bit more because you're actually going to meet the people that you need in your life to help you out on this journey. Or you're going to meet people who are actually very good for you, who are actually meant to help you out, who are not in any way, they're not petty, they're not dishonest, they're not, they're not coming after you. Oh, I kind of want to know more about this. Some of you grew up in an environment that was not very safe or not the best. And maybe some of you understood this and some of you didn't, but I need you to understand that if there's certain things you didn't grow up with, it's because you were constantly in environments that were not conductive to your growth or that were not healthy for you. And your parents probably tried really hard. I don't know what your situation was, but I feel like they tried very hard, but they themselves couldn't help where they had to be or where they had to put you. I need you to understand that. I'm saying that as somebody who had to move around a lot when I was younger. And I always wondered why. And I feel like this is a similar thing. You were meant to be protected from way too many energies out there. Let's go ahead and get another card to clarify your internal workings. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. We are done taking a break. We are done with the meditation. We are done with this whole idea that we have to sit around and wait for things to happen. Things are about to happen for you. So your mind is about to go into an active kind of energy, which makes sense. I'm recording this as Mercury is about to go direct, and also we're in Virgo season. So this is very interesting energy. Let's go ahead and get, what do I want this section to be? What to do. Let's go ahead and make this a what to do pile. So things you are encouraged to do. Tap into your intuition. Start tapping into your intuition. A lot of you have already been doing this, for those of you who are intuitive. And then for those of you who aren't, don't be afraid to tap into your intuition. You probably have been working with it for a lot longer than you realize. You've just been going a different way about it, or you've been doing it very subconsciously, unconsciously, however you want to say it. You've been doing it without thinking. So tap into that intuitive ability of yours. Don't be afraid. Let's go ahead and get a card for what not to do or what to avoid, what you are being discouraged from doing. The Hierophant in reverse. Listen to past mistakes. Don't be afraid of repeating your mistakes. In fact, this card has come out in every single pile. It's very odd. The Dionysus has come out in every single pile. But the Hierophant to me means karmic lessons or lessons learned, even spiritual lessons. Don't be afraid to go back to some of the lessons you've learned in the past and integrate those into what you are going through right now, especially from past mentors, from past people, situations, anything that is especially very, anything that has to do with like friendships, relationships, or one-on-one connections. It doesn't have to be like romantic relationships. I'm thinking more of like the relationship between you and a parent, you and a mentor, you and a boss, something along those lines. Those are going to be very important within this. I'm going to clarify this one just because I feel like it needs to be. Don't be afraid to go back. Like, let's say you had a teacher that you didn't like, but they had really good lessons that you had to learn. Don't be afraid of that. Don't discredit the lesson because the teacher wasn't the best. The Fool. Reversed. Should I take this reversed? No, upright. I'm being told you're not a beginner anymore. You're not on square one anymore, so don't act like it. You are no longer a newbie. You're no longer in beginner energy. You are more than capable of doing whatever it is that you need to do. You are very much ready for this. You may feel like you're new to this because the situation is new, but your actual ability, your skill set, your mindset is not new. So don't act like it is. Like, And I know this is easier said than done. Let's say you're in a new environment, but you have the skills to be able to do whatever it is that you need to do in that environment. Act like you do. And again, I know this is easier said than done. I've actually done this where I was transferred. Well, not transferred. I quit my old job and went to a new job. It was the same thing that I was doing. I was still, it was the cake decorating job I used to have. But I went into that new job acting as if I knew what to do, because I did. It's like I'd been doing it for 3 years at that point. How would I not know what to do my job? And sure, there were things I had to figure out because it was a different environment, it was a different company, but I still knew exactly what to do. And I remember somebody there saying on my first day, it's like, she's just walking in here like she's always been working here. And it's like, well, yeah, this is how I got the job. This is how I landed this. It was I wouldn't say it was a rare opportunity, but it's definitely something that didn't happen to everybody. The specific thing that happened for me at that job, but it's like I walked in knowing that I had the skill set and the ability to take care of it. So don't let anybody make you feel like a fool. Don't let anybody make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. You very much do. It feels a little bit like fake it till you make it, but the truth is that you are very capable of doing whatever it is that this particular situation calls for, pile 3. Have faith in yourself, because your guardians definitely do. Let's get one last card. Oh, I'm hearing this is going to be from your guardians. They want to give you a little message. Okay, so what do we have for my pile 3s? 8 of Swords. I'm getting several things from this. In the Rider-Waite, the 8 of Swords has a person with a blindfold, but here we have Medusa, and it said that her eyes turn people to stone. Essentially, something about not being able to see something here. I'm hearing don't blind yourself because of past situations. It's like take off the blindfold and see things as they really are. Some of you have a little bit of an avoidant nature. Again, I'm getting Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm sorry if none of you have ever seen it. I hope I'm conveying the message well, but he didn't want to accept his journey at the beginning. He kind of just wanted to have fun, be a kid. There was immaturity there, but at the same time, he was like 11 or 12. I forget how old he was. It's like, yeah, of course he's going to act like a 12-year-old. That's what he is. But at the same time, a lot of responsibility was thrusted upon him. But for a lot of you here, pile 3, at least I hope everybody here is over 18. You are more than ready for something here that you believe you are not. So I'm hearing, and I hope this is, I understand this is your guards. They're saying, stop acting like you're not ready for it, because you are. I'm going to get another card to clarify this. Can I get another Yeah, okay, they're letting me get a clarifier. Queen of Wands. Step into this energy of knowing you are more in control than you realize. Don't be afraid of being seen. I keep hearing this. It's like they want you to not show off per se, but they want you to not be afraid to be seen. Don't be afraid of dressing well, looking good, looking the part. Don't be afraid of your own charisma and what it can draw in for you. Because for a lot of you, you're going to be in the spotlight, and you're meant to be in the spotlight to attract the right people, places, things, situations that you need in order to progress your life forward. This is a strategy they are giving you. Like if you've been feeling like you need a glow up or a little bit of a makeover, don't be afraid of that either. That is not you being dishonest with yourself. That's you trying to look a little bit more true to yourself in this current situation, in this new environment that you are meant to be in. For example, if you're going from, I don't know why I'm being shown this particular example. This doesn't have to be the case, of course, but if you're going from regular employee to, general manager or CEO, you're not going to dress the same. You're going to dress a little bit better to show people that you are the one in charge, or you're going to dress a little bit more professionally because you are now the face of that company, situation, business, whatever the situation is. You're going to dress just a little bit better. And that's not because you feel you are better than others around you. That's because you understand you have a responsibility to maintain an image. So I feel like something similar is coming through here, where you have to look the part because you are the part. And that's not saying that you have to dress a way that you don't feel is very true to you. By all means, make it suit your personality, make it suit your taste, but definitely make sure that it's in alignment with what it is that you have to do. Yeah, I feel like, whatever role you're about to fill, you for some of you, it could be more external, more physical. Like you definitely have to look a part. And for some of you, it's stepping into that energy of being more of a, I almost said people pleaser, but that's not it. I'm just seeing charisma. It's like, don't be afraid to speak to people. Don't be afraid of accepting people's attention that they want to give you. What's in the back of the deck? 4 of Wands. Yeah. This is celebratory energy. Don't be afraid of being seen. Don't be afraid of thriving. Don't be afraid of living every moment like it's something that is meant to be celebrated, because for you, it is pile 3. This is such beautiful energy, and they want nothing but the best for you. They just hope and wish that you come out of this mentality that you're not worthy somehow, or that you don't deserve it, or even that things may not work out, because it definitely will. You are more than ready for this particular situation, pile 3. Oh, this is such beautiful energy. A lot of you are going to become a lot more intuitive. In fact, we have Psyche here, and she is the goddess of the soul. And Hestia, goddess of the hearth, Medusa. She's not a goddess, but she is... The way I've always seen Medusa is that you can't mess with her because she's been messed with too many times before. In fact, this is an Athena reading. Why am I just not thinking of this? The person who gave Medusa her snakes and this vision that turned everybody into stone was Athena. And some people see it as a punishment, but there have been newer interpretations that take it to mean that this is the gift she bestowed upon her so that people would never mess with her again. I feel like this is kind of like a level up that she needed. So you can see it that way. You can see it whichever way you want. But I really love this energy where like you're taking the things that you felt used to isolate you or make you weak, and you're becoming a new person. Oh, and we also have Persephone here. Why am I not seeing this? She was born to be the goddess of spring, goddess of... not the harvest, that's her mom, but she was meant to be a goddess of spring. But then it turns out she's actually the goddess of the underworld. That was her actual destiny. Something similar is going on here. In fact, if you're from pile 2, I feel like that would resonate more. Whatever you're stepping into might be very different from what you used to do. But it's meant to be a truer aspect of you. It's meant to be a truer aspect. This could be why you have to kind of change your look or have to change the way you operate, because this new situation is going to require you to be something different. You may be playing a supportive role to something very important here. Again, I'm thinking of like a company or, I don't know, something bigger, something outside yourself. Because I see you being very composed, very powerful, but also very of service. Take this as it resonates. I really love this energy, pile 3. But let's move on to some closing advice. Also very powerful feminine energy coming through. Powerful feminine energy. You do not have to be feminine. You do not have to be a woman, but I need you to understand that. For whatever reason, it's important here. But let's get to closing advice. So we have my handmade oracle deck. I just took a bunch of postcards and put quotes on them. So let's see what is coming through for you. Pile 3, messages from Athena, her wisdom, her strategies, her guidance. Just because it's unusual doesn't mean it's not true, nor does it mean it's not for you. Oh, I like that. I don't understand what I meant by this. I swear I wrote this down one night that I was like super tired, and I was just like, just because it's unusual doesn't mean it's not true, nor does it mean it's not for you. And this is the back of it, just in case you wanted to see the pretty flowers. So yeah, for some of you, you're stepping into something you're not used to. Let's get another card. Okay, these two wanted to come out. So what are these? Lilies? Yeah. Pedaling through the dark currents, I find an accurate copy, a blueprint of the pleasure in me. This is Bjork's pagan poetry. I love Bjork. She's one of my favorite songwriters. But there's something about meeting a counterpart that is going to really play a pivotal role here. If not a counterpart, it could also be something that has always been meant for you. And that's my attempt at drawing a lily. I know it's ugly. Just, I was bored. But are these lilies? Because I didn't even see the back of it. I don't know. Pandora Sellers? I thought they were. Anyway, let's go ahead and get your last card, which is this. I don't know what it is, but it looks like corn or jackfruit. I dream about you and or this a lot. I don't know what it means or what to do. For some of you, like I said, your dreams are important. They are trying to convey a message to you. So if you've had recurring dreams or repeating dreams or dreams of similar things, pay attention to them. There's something important about them. They're trying to tell you something. Your spirit guardians are trying to tell you something here. Let's go ahead and get your angel numbers, and then we'll do runes for my pile 3. This has been the most exciting. I mean, all 3 of my piles today have been exciting, but this one, oh, I love this one. I love the energy. It's so different. We have 20. I am harmonious. You relate to others on an almost cosmic level. You are dedicated to building a harmonious relationships of all kinds. You have the ability to persuade others to your point of view by using gentle means. Yeah, people want to follow you. This harmonious energy is something that they truly adore and love. I feel like people are going to fall in line with whatever it is that you want to do, or with whatever it is that you are meant to set out. It's like you're going to find the support you need. We We also have 1212. I am focused. Stay focused on your best possible future and remain optimistic throughout the entire journey. Your angels are right behind you as you turn your dreams into reality. What did I say? Your spirit guardians, your angels, your ancestors, whoever it is that is on your spirit team, they're all behind you. This is just confirmation from them. So thank you so much, 503's ancestors, angels, guardians, everybody. All these beautiful beings that are here to support them. Let's go ahead and get your runes to see what else wants to come through. Okay, we have this one. I have not memorized what these are, but this is Ewa's safety. Or is it Sowilo self? I feel like it could be taken either or because I'm kind of seeing both of them right now. We also have Hagalas disruption. Algi's friendship. What is this? Tiny. Oh, there it is. Self. This is Sowilo. And the other one is Awas. So the fact that they both came out. These both look like S's as well. So maybe somebody has an S in their name like me. And then the last one is Isa. So for some of you, you've been very blocked lately. There's like a standstill. There's a disruption. There's safety and there's self. It's like you were being very, very protected from certain outside influences, because I'm seeing Algi's, even though it's friendship, I'm seeing it as like acquaintances or people around you. You've been very protected by certain people or outside influences so that you could preserve yourself, so that you could really focus on yourself, so that you could not worry about anybody else's influence on you, because you were going through a period of growth. If certain people left you recently, or if they've been taken out of your life mysteriously, it's because you were meant to focus on you and not worry about the influence that they were meant to bring to you. I need you to understand that. I feel like your guardians are kind of apologizing here. It's like, sorry, we know you like this person, but we had to let them go because they were no good for you. That's essentially what they're trying to say and or do here. But this is where I leave you, pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I'd like to thank Athena, spirit guardians, angels, ancestors of pile 3 as well, for allowing me to tap into their energy. I know they were very divinely protected, and I'm grateful that I'm able to convey messages for them from you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.